Okay, so in this video I want to create the rating component so we can show some stars here, and we're going to use font awesome icons. So let's go back to VS Code, and we're going to put this in the product component. So I'm going to import it, even though we haven't created it yet. I'm still going to just import it. So it's going to be, let's say, import rating from ... oops, rating, and this is going to go down here where I just put this div. So this div, I'm going to replace that with the rating component, and this is going to take in two props. So first it needs the value, which is going to be the product rating. So we'll pass in value and set that to product dot rating, and it's also going to take in text. So as far as what I want the text to say, it's going to be, let's pass in some backticks, and it's going to be the number of reviews and then just the text reviews. So let's put a variable syntax in here and say product.num reviews, and then outside of that variable syntax, just the word reviews. All right. So we don't actually have that component yet, so let's go to components and let's create a new file called rating.js and structure out an arrow function component. And this is going to take in those two props, value and text. So here I'm going to destructure and say value and text. Okay, and then what we want to do is we'll have a div. I'm going to give this a class name of rating. And then we're going to have a span to represent each one of the stars with an icon. So just to show you real quick what the icons we're using, if we go to, no, I want font awesome. So if we go to font awesome here and we just search for star, so we have three stars we're going to use. The full star, which has the class of FAS, FA-star. The empty star, which is FAR, FA-star. And then we also have, I think it's this one. Yeah. So FA star half alt. So those are the three stars we're going to be working with, and which star we show is going to depend on the value that's passed in, which is the product rating. So for the first one here, remember this is the first star, we're going to have an I tag with a class name that's going to depend on the value. So let's say if the value is greater than or equal to 1, then we want to show a full star because this is the first star. So we'll say then we want this to be FAS, FA-star, and then we'll do else if the value is greater than or equal to 0.5, then we want to show a half star. So then the class will be FAS, FA-star half alt. Okay. Else, then it's going to be an empty star, which is the class FAR, FA-star. All right, and then we can end that, and let's just save, and it'll format it. All right, so that's star number 1. Now we have 5 stars, so I'm going to copy this whole span. I'm just going to copy this down. So Shift Alt or Shift Option down. We need 5 of them, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 of these. Now the first one's all set. We want to go to the second star, so the second span, the second icon, and we want to see if the value is greater than or equal to 2. And then here, if it's greater than or equal to 1.5, because it's the second star. The third star, 3, 2.5. This one will be 4, 3.5, and then the last star, the fifth star, will be 5 or 4.5. All right, so under this last span, I just want to have whatever the text that's passed in inside of a span. Now, the text is going to be optional, so I'll say if text. One thing we could do is say if text, then show the text, else show nothing. But since there's nothing in the else, it's just an empty string, we can use the double ampersand here and not have to have the else. Okay, so this just means if there's text, if that exists, then show it. Now I'm going to save this, and let's go back here. Cannot resolve rating. Oh, did I not bring it in right? So in product, it's in the same folder, so it should be just /rating. Okay, so now we can see the stars, and it seems to be correct. So this one here, well, it doesn't say the actual rating, so let's check. The headphones should be 4.5. So if we look at our products here and we look at the AirPods, yep, the rating is 4.5. So the iPhone has a rating of 4.0, so you can see that there's 4 stars. Good. Now I do want to just put a space. Well, actually, we'll add some CSS for that. But so it seems to be working. What I want to do now is the color, because I don't want to use black stars. So I'm actually going to give the option to pass in a color prop. Okay, so we'll pass color in here, and we'll go to the icon, and we'll add a style. So in React we can add inline styles, but we need to use double curly braces like this. And I want to set the color to the color prop that's passed in here. All right. In fact, since it's that, we can just, since they're both color, we can just do that. And I'm going to do this for all of the I tags. So, whoops. Style color. Color. All right. Now, I didn't pass a color in, so they're still black. I could go into product, and where I'm passing in rating, I could do like color equals and set that to red. And if I save that, now we have red stars. But I don't want to have to pass a color, and I want to have a default value of a yellow color. So if you want a default prop value, we can go down here under the function, under the component, and we can say the name of the function or component, which is rating, and we can set default props, and we want to set the color to the default value of a hexadecimal value, which is going to be F8E825. So if we save that, we go back, we should now have yellow stars. All right. Now, there's also something called prop types, where you can specify the type of each prop. So, for instance, these are all strings. So we could do import. Actually, with the React extension, you can do IMPT, and that'll automatically import prop types. And what we can do is go down to the bottom here under default props and say rating.prop types, lowercase p, and set that to an object. And then for value, so value, we know it's a number, so we can say prop types with an uppercase P dot number, and we can also set it to is required. Okay, we'll copy that down, and the text that's passed in, we know that's a string, that needs to be a string. And then we have color, and color I'm not going to set to required, and that's also a string. Okay, so what this will do is it'll type check our props. Now, if something's messed up as far as the type go, like let's say for rating we pass in for let's see, for text, which is supposed to be a string, if we pass in a number and I save that and I go back, we're not going to see any difference here. But if we open up our console, each child list, so ignore this one for now, I'll fix that in a second, but here it says invalid prop text of type number supplied to rating, it expected a string. So we passed in a number where it expected a string, and it's warning us. So we'll just change that back to what it was, and now that warning should go away. Now, I'm not going to be using prop types in every component for every prop because it just gets tiring and it's not worth it to me, but you can add them if you want. I just wanted to show you how to do it in case you don't know, but I know a lot of you guys do. Now, as far as this warning, each child in a list should have a unique key prop. What that means is that when we create a list, such as we did in home screen, so if we map through something here, we're creating a list. The element here has to have a key, and that needs to be unique. So we'll set it to the product._ID because we have access to each product that we're looping through here. So if we save that, go back, that warning should go away. Okay, so last thing I want to do is just add a little bit of CSS to index CSS. I'm going to say .rating span, and let's add margin. Let's say margin 0.1 rem. And then let's see. I want some spacing here as well. What is that? An H? I forget what that is. I think it's an H3. Yeah, let's actually add right here. Let's say H3. Let's give it margin, or let's give it padding of 1 rem on the top and bottom. There we go. So it spaces it out a bit. So I think that looks pretty good. We have our ratings, our number of reviews. So in the next video, what I want to do is start to implement the routing, because right now we don't have any routing. I want to be able to click here and go to a separate product screen. And one thing I want to show you real quick is the React Dev Tools. So if you search for React Dev Tools, I'm on Chrome, so I would get it for Chrome, but you can also get it for Firefox. And this just allows you to see like your props and your state and stuff like that. I don't use this too much unless I'm dealing with the context API and I'm dealing with global state in React. We're going to be using Redux, so we'll use the Redux Dev Tools, which I honestly couldn't even work with Redux without them. But as far as the React Dev Tools, I already have them installed, and you'll see down here, if I go to components, you can basically see the tree of components, including all the Bootstrap components we're using. So here's the home screen. So I just want to look at product, and it'll show you the props that are passed in. So in this case, we just have our product objects that are passed in. If we look at right here, rating, you can see the different props, the color, the text, and I believe we can just change these. So if we set that to red, and that's just that rating, because there's obviously multiple rating components. The second one would be right here. And of course, this just changes it in the browser. If I refresh it, it's going to go away. So if I set that to blue, so you can just kind of mess with things here. Yeah, so if there's state, like if you use the context API, you would be able to see your global state. But like I said, we're going to be using Redux, so we'll be dealing with the Redux Dev Tools. But I just wanted to show you that real quick if you want to get those installed, and it's just good for debugging and stuff like that. All right, so in the next video, we're going to go ahead and implement the React router. So let's continue in the next video.